again. Here, across, twist out, strike to the nose, and run. You can either lift it straight up, or you could just pass your hand, like you're creating a halo over their head, but they're not an angel. Cross. Or just choke, chin down, straight up, twist out, come back with an elbow strike here.
So now, pretty much, I'm grabbing her like this. The first thing you normally do is to try to grab my arms. That's what we really don't want to do. It's a waste of time. That's a battle that you just can't win. So pretty much we want to bring the arms down. Bring one hand straight to the person's esophagus. You want to hold here. Keep that arm as much as straight as possible. And now you want to try to step back while extending this arm. This is making me release now because it's cutting off my passage. So I'm not able to breathe and I'm not able to hold her. So now she can run and go. One more time. The attack with the rigid arm, come around. Good. Freeze the person, elbow, to grab. Same thing with the rigid arm. You want to bring this arm around. Go ahead, swing it around. Yeah.
Oh. Now what?
Now you're going to use this.
My fist?
We're going to make a little karate chop.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can chop me here.
Could you be this way?
And along with coming in. Yes, you can. And along with that, so once again, let's try it again. So while she's stepping in, she's also bringing the elbow down, which actually makes my wrist lock in. Step in and out. So it protects her neck, allowing her to also have a stronger pull down. Good.
You will not stab me.
Now while pulling away, you want to headbutt the person. Boom, which is going to free them so they won't, so their guard is off. Now we want to hit down the groin, elbow, upper hand, turn around. Oh, perfect.
Drop it, bitch!
And then bam.
Punch to the face. All right? Maybe it's your friend and they're holding on to you or they're doing something and, I mean, you just don't want to start wailing in on them. It's really easy. This is a thumb, and it normally hurts if you pinch down in this fashion. We'll normally get the hand to open up and get them to leave you alone. If you have a good durable shirt, whenever people grab hold of your clothes, if it becomes necessary, you can rip through these clothes. It is not like he's holding on to your body. So don't think that just because he has a hold of you, that you can't suddenly move to this side and put yourself at a slighter advantage. Use both of your hands, bring them down. It's all right. Use a couple of choice knees. Will also help to loosen them up. Dropping an elbow, or even coming up and taking them down.
My attacker's gonna grab me. I'm gonna hold on to the hand, palm heel to the face, peel backwards, and then knee.
Sometimes they may be giving you a handshake so that they can reach out and punch you with the other hand. Or you get those people who try to grab your hand and squeeze your hand really tight, and that can be very annoying. So there are some ways that you can get around that. The first way on your test is called handshake defense using your own thumb. So what you're going to do, if he grabs me as tight as he can, I can still release my thumb. And you see my thumb sticks out, isn't grabbed. I take my opposite hand, grab his own thumb, and I use this motion here on top of the metacarpals, the points in his hand. And you notice that causes him to flinch because it's painful on top of that bone. And when that happens, that releases the grip that he has on my hand, and I take and go into an outside wrist lock. It's a handshake defense using his thumb. And either grabbing me, or his hand is cocked ready to hit me, or he's telling me what he's going to do to me. My hand is going to reach across, grab his thumb, and roll it down. Notice the more I roll, the more pain he's in. Now, I could stop there, or I could strike. But in the test, I'd like to see you again go into a throw. So you reach across, roll this, turn, and we saw earlier that if he grabs my wrist, I can do a down block and strike the points on the inside of his arm. If he's hand shaking me and doing the squeeze or the punch, same thing. I bring my hand up and strike down. I could knife hand down, or I could, like I'm knocking on a door, down just like that. Any direction, any way I want to do it. Most important thing is I know where these points are, and I strike those points. As soon as he grabs, he is being the aggressor. My hands are up. He grabs me. As he grabs me, puts my arm up behind me, pull out, strike him here, here, and step. A basic wrist grab. If he reaches out crossed hand and grabs my wrist, of course there's 100 different ways to get out. Of course I could just fan over and get out. He grabs me, I could use my other hand fan and trap. There's 100 different ways to get out of a wrist hold. Again, just push off and get away. And if you're a basic karate student, you need to be working on those things. You need to understand that the weakest part of his grip is going to be his thumb. So if you're going to try to get out, if he grabs the same side wrist grab, this thumb is the weakest part of his hand. If I try to pull against his fingers, and he's a nice strong guy, he's got me held, but if I pull against that thumb, hold very tight, he just can't hold on. So you need to understand that first principle. The second thing is cross hand grab. With an outside wrist lock, I can reach over, roll my hand like this, and I now have a very strong outside wrist lock. I push down, he will fall straight there. Instead of throwing him over there, where I may have to then go get him, or he may land and get up very angry, I'm going to take him straight down, where he'll be right below me when he hits the ground. So here, somebody might ask this question. It's a good question too. Well, while you're fooling with his hand, he might be punching you in the face. That's right. So I might want to give him something to occupy his time. So when I reach to grab his hand, I'm also going to take my foot and I'm going to catch him either in the inside of the leg or possibly with a roundhouse kick to the stomach to get his attention off of what I'm doing with his hand. So if I reach up, tap his leg, there, take his hand. Now, not only is he off balance, but I've got his hand in this position, and look at the position of the hand. It's very important. I have grabbed the meat of the interior of his thumb. I put my thumb on the back. I'm using my hand that was grabbed for leverage, and I'm going to push straight down. When this happens, as soon as the wrist goes past the shoulder, he will fall. Now, what happens if he grabs a same side grab? Well, getting to an outside wrist lock from this is not impossible. I can turn my hand up, and there's an outside wrist lock there. I'll show you how I did that. I just simply turn my hand up. Again, I wouldn't just do this because he would punch me with his other hand, but I would do a kick at the same time. Release against the thumb, just like I showed you a moment ago. And there I've got this wrist lock. Thumb on the back, finger across the hand, my other hand for leverage was a circular motion. He grabs, I come up here, and I create that bend in the elbow with that. What if he's a really strong guy? Well, I may want to come up here, slide down the wrist, and cut into it. Whatever I've got to do, I want this wrist in this position to be pointed at his chest. Because that gives the difference between this, which does hurt and he can feel that, but he can fight that, and this, which is a killer and takes him out. Sometimes schools will call this the bent elbow wrist lock because his elbow should be bent. But a bent elbow wrist lock is a little different because a bent elbow wrist lock, if I did this, I would touch a pressure point here and I would drop him easier because I'm using two pressure points. I'm using the pressure points here and a pressure point higher up on the arm. Those two wrist locks are very important.
Quick break, then he leads right into it. And then we got the tradition.
So we're
Oh. Working out.
He grabs here, turn over, grab his arm, and his wrist is compromised, so when you go forward, they're pretty much going to be stuck here because of the pain. And even if he wants to let go, and wants to get away, you still have this wrist situation. Good.
Against just the muscles in his wrists and in his hands. And remember, he's just holding on to my shirt.